His church provides ethical, sustainable and charitable solutions for food, clothing and supplies, which are redistributed to support vulnerable people at home and abroad. His church's operations and logistics centre, Hangar 3 in Lincolnshire, is a 50,000 square foot aircraft hangar and the biggest single-site redistribution charity in Europe, according to the BBC. Given the scale of this storehouse, His church are positioned to respond immediately to crises and have won several awards for their crisis and disaster responses, from floods in the UK to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Most recently, His church distributed over 2 million meals as well as vital provisions, including supplies and PPE, in response to COVID-19 across the UK. His church's large-scale distributions, resupplying Great Britain during lockdown, captured the media's imagination, and His church featured prominently on most major news channels.
Welcome, thank you for joining us. I can see a really well-stocked warehouse behind you. Tell us what you're doing in these times.
Katie, the charity say they provided a million meals for vulnerable people, but there are still people that are in need.
COVID-19 is bringing people together. These are volunteers of different faiths from different parts of the country, helping each other to help others.
A Lincolnshire charity has reached its target of delivering 1.5 million meals since the coronavirus pandemic began.
His church's distributions increased from 50,000 meals a week to 300,000 during the first 4 weeks of lockdown. At the same time, restaurants such as McDonald's, Wetherspoons, Pret a Manger and Costa were forced to close. The food trapped in their supply chain helped His church meet this increase in demand, which could not have been done without the appropriate temperature-controlled vehicles and trailers. At this critical time, Dawson's generously supplied His church with the use of 4 refrigerated trailers, a 26-tonne dual-temperature rigid lorry and an articulated tractor unit. These vehicles meant His church could redistribute over 1,000 tonnes of surplus food to the most vulnerable members of the community, both directly and through a network of over 15,000 charitable organisations, ranging from council food hubs to homeless outreaches, and from football club foundations to churches and mosques. His church also provided meals for over 10,000 healthcare professionals. At this time, it was impossible for them to purchase items such as fruit and dairy products due to short supply and widespread panic buying. His church also provided refreshments to hospital staff who were dehydrating due to hot working conditions and high levels of PPE.
We've got a campaign that's starting today with Bloomsbury Town Football Club called Rehydrating the NHS, because working with lots of PPE at high temperatures for long periods of time, they're getting dehydrated.
Any little bit that we can do to help is just a massive plus and positives for the NHS. We're a very tight-knit community at Grimsby. Our supporters are absolutely brilliant. So it's unbelievable to be able to give something back to the local people and especially the frontline staff at the NHS.
His church was prepared ahead of time to be able to help our nation in its time of need. This help was poignantly demonstrated on VE Day when the BBC featured His church in the programme Our Finest Hours.
The way ahead is hard and many lives will be lost.
Coronavirus has brought grief to some, financial hardship to many, and an unprecedented change to us all.
Together we can beat this and we can make a difference.
Thank you for helping us continue to make a difference.